And we are live. What's good, people? Welcome to another episode of Quarantine. No, wait. Quality over quarantine. Today we got a guest who we tried to get on before, but you know how the universe moves in it, and this guy's very in tune with the universe. So when things don't happen or things do happen, they're meant to happen. Everything's at the right time. So right now we got my brother. Felix the Icefire, what you saying, brother?
Love King. What
How's it
an
going?
introduction.
Come
You
on,
know
man.
what? It's the 11th day of the 11th month, and I live at number 11. It's perfect.
You see it there?
Perfect.
That's deep, man. We go back quite a long way. And it's funny as well because we have so many mutual friends as well. And so you've always been a person who's kind of like been in, as long as I've been doing what I've been doing, you know what I mean? I've always kind of seen you about moving. But recently, I say within the last like maybe 5 years, things have changed a lot for you, and there's been an energy shift. And the way you've been moving has just changed. And I remember us having conversations. We've had, like, you know what? I would love for people to like be privy to the conversations that we have, because we've had some deep conversations, like our conversations. You get me? But so I don't even know where to start with this, because this is different. This ain't a normal interview. You know what I mean? It's like it's family up in here. But how are you, brother? How are you?
Oh my God, brother. Like, today of all days that we're doing this interview is so freaking deep. Just everything is just exploding, man. Everything is exploding, like in the world, in my world, purpose, everything all conjunct at the same time and space. And as you said, man, it's just beautiful. It's like poetry with everything that is happening, you know. Just expanded with our connection, my Sovereign Comics expanding, and working with this network in America,
Right.
in regards to TV, film, animation, podcasts. I don't even want to blow it up right now.
Yeah.
But it's freaking major, and it's what I've been waiting for. Like, I couldn't even imagine. And I've got a good imagination. I couldn't have even imagined what is taking place right now at this very moment in time.
But let's go back here, because the comic thing is quite a new adventure in what you've been doing, as like
Let's go back.
So let's take it. How did you even get into music? Like, where was the part where you were like, right, you know what, as a artist, the rap thing is what I want to go into? When did that start?
Well, how I started, man, like, I think it felt like, remember when Space Jam, that film Space Jam, with all the rappers and stuff on it? Like, obviously, I grew up listening to whatever my mom had put on, or my family would put on, go and see my uncles, you know what I mean? But watching Space Jam made me want, like, that whole video with Busta Rhymes, Method Man, and all of that. It was like, that was the first rap that I ever like took on board and recited word for word.
Yeah.
And I knew that was something that I wanted to touch upon. At the age of 13, my dad passed away, and
God bless.
I moved from Lewisham to Deptford, and Blue Borough, SC8/14. You know what I mean? Like, from Lewisham to there, it was a big shift, and all of a sudden, it was about getting recognition on the street, being feared, defending yourself, fighting, girls, all of that. I had, with my dad passing away, I had a lot of frustration, a lot of anger. And my first introduction to doing music, like really putting my hands on it, getting into a recording studio, was when when I started grime.
Scene, okay.
I was in a grime crew with P Money, Funky D. Are you gonna bang
Scene.
though? Yeah, Funky D, Blacks, Little D, Castro, and we became a crew called Fatal Assassins, and it was grime that started on.
Scene.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
nuts,
yeah, yeah.
because like, so, because I always thought like, because of your style of rap and the style that you do,
Mm.
I just figured, yo, man must be from Northwest, like, man must have come up around them, man, because every time I go around like that side of London, yeah, that's what them man were on. They were just on just deep bars, and nowhere else, like I could say, nowhere else in London, I was really getting that style from. And not in like, you might have one or two man that do that, but I always thought like Iron Braids, that side of things, yeah. M9, like them man just did something different. And even before I knew about them, the guys who were there from before, that's the style they did. So when I first heard you bar, I was just like, oh, that's one of, like, he's coming from that school, because no one outside of them places really spits the way you spit. So it's funny to hear that you came from a grand background.
Yeah, man. I came from a grime background, and I think it was I was 16. I was 15, 16,
Yeah.
where I started to make a transition. I was like, well, I did the kind of grime for me was a way of getting out negative energy,
Right.
like negative energy. And it was about beef. It was about battling. That's one of the things I liked about grime is the whole battle element.
Scene.
But I started learning about Nawapu,
Right.
about right knowledge, Dr. Malachi,
Right.
you know, and it got to the point where from the age of 13, I started learning about that. And it just got
Scene.
to the point where I had too much knowledge and too much to say. And it was, working with grime was just too confined. It was like a
Right.
small box.
Yeah.
And I was like, I need another medium to be able to express something else. And I started, a crew called Midas Touch with a brother named Jada X, a guy named AKS Axe, and started off like that. And then I met Mike Assassin.
Scene. Okay. The big
Mike
homie.
Assassin. Yeah, the big homie, like Mike Assassin. I remember like I won a rap battle, a big rap battle in Love Lynch in New Cross.
Okay.
It was against like the whole SC8/14 crew.
See.
Yeah, like Bones, Skills, all of them. Do you know what I mean? And I beat all of them. I got up on stage and I beat all of them, and I won a trophy. And Mike Assassin was there. It was around the and he noticed me. It was like, yo, man, like this guy's got skills, like, yo, and he started talking to me, and I had heard about him before I even met him.
Yeah.
And there was this one line that he dropped that haunted me, bro. It was like, "You wish you were my balls so you could hang with me."
That's a Mike Assassin bar, man. This guy, man. And I think
Ashton.
like Daddy G's.
Yeah, Daddy G's, man. He said, "You wish you were my balls so you could hang with me." And this was the time that he was battling everyone.
Yeah,
he was going to America, tearing it down. He was just on stage, just tearing it down. He's just freaking killing it. And I did this one track after which was on which was the last track on Baptism Under Fire, my first CD. And I'd gone to his studio and he put the pressure on. Like, I had written 16 bars and he had said like it was him and JB Sparks. This was when JB Sparks had Django Thief, and he was like, bro, you're really gonna need to come hard on this one, or you're gonna get eaten alive. You know how he is. I was like, I wrote like 24 bars after that, straight on the spot. I was like, no, you're not bodying me. You're not bodying me. And it was that moment that I elevated. Straight away.
That's crazy.
Straight away.
So what was it like? What was it like? Because I think a lot of people don't understand when you're in the studio around that caliber of writer, your mind has to go to a different place. So you can't really just be doing what you normally been doing. When you're in the room, you know what it's like, bruv. When you're in the room and you're with barras, and it's like poker because you don't know what everyone's hands got here, but you know they're coming with something crazy, and you gotta go out crazy them. Like so, how was that like coming up in that era in that environment? Like, how was that? How did that help your pen?
Well, you know what? Like after that, I just said to myself, you know what? I need to fucking step up. I need to like go like crazy on it. Just a bit more context. I went from calling myself Swiftly in grime to doing hip hop and calling myself Phoenix. I wanted something that was, Phoenix. And then I was writing one lyric one day, and it was like, I'll burn you and freeze you like Icefire. And I was like, you know what? I really like that. That kind of resonates with me. And I put Phoenix and Icefire together, and I was like, I'm Phoenix the Icefire. So the whole thing was about...
I was going to ask you about that. I was going to ask you about the name, like where that came from. So this is it, yeah?
Yeah. That's it. And I was like, I need something that just signifies just forever rising and climbing and elevating, but also encompassing my two extremes. You know, I was still street, but I was conscious as well. I'm hot, I'm cold, and you know, even me being born in September, that's like right in the middle between the summer and the winter. It's right in between. So it's like hot and cold. But like, yeah, my first proper experience with knowing that there was more people, because I didn't know a whole great deal about the UK scene. I started off in grime. So my first proper exposure was Speaker's Corner.
Yeah, ooh, sick. Okay. Yeah. That's what you had to come through, man.
Speaker's Corner, I was like, I didn't know brothers in the UK could write like that, could spit like that, like put it down like that. Whoa. Because when I was in grime, it was just like hip hop US. Yeah. Grime UK. And I was doing grime before it was called grime. It was called garage.
Yeah. See,
called garage.
It's funny as well because I think a lot of people have that same experience. So when I first started rapping and wasn't aware of how many UK guys were really out there, and I remember one day I used to listen to like Westwood would play some UK hip hop, Shorty Blitz would play some UK hip hop, but like that's as kind of as far as it really went. Like I didn't realize there were like people kind of like out there, you know what I mean, that were doing the same things that I was doing. So really what happened was one day I was chatting to my brother, must have gone somewhere, and he came back at like a couple, like 4 or 5 in the morning. I'm like, where you been? He's like, I went to this place called Kung Fu, and Skinny Man was there and so and so was there, and I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, yeah, these people just hang out here. I'm like, nah. And then when I went there, that's the first time I started meeting other rappers. Like, oh, there's a whole scene, there's a whole community, and Speaker's Corner was one of them places. I remember like going to Speaker's Corner and just being in a room of the whole room's just rappers, man. It's like literally everyone's a rapper. Everybody in there could bar your head off, and like you would have all the Americans look. I remember Supernatural coming down one time and just freestyling, and me just being like, yo, let me freestyle, you know what I mean? And just being like, he's the freestyle champion. Let me freestyle with him, and like him giving me tips, like, yeah, I like what you do. And like, that was like the dojo, man. Like these places was the place where you could really go and just find other people that thought like you. So I think everybody had that experience of, I don't know who else is out there, but then you find these places and you're like, raw, I'm home. I'm around my people.
Yes. That's what it felt like. Felt like freaking home. First and foremost, man, on the freaking live, man. I love you, bro. You're a freaking champion. And you're one of those elders. It's like, it's funny. You look around and you become an elder. You don't even realize until you say, yeah, man. You listen to Keith Murray, you listen to Nas, and the kid goes to you, who the fuck is that? That's old people's music. And then you realize you're an older.
Yeah.
So it's like, thank you for you just reaching back, man, and doing what we wanted our elders to do, which was to reach back, create a platform, and show us some love, man. Because you're a freaking general, you're a freaking a fucking superstar, living legend in your own freaking right, and you don't even have to do what you're doing. So thank you for that.
Nah, it's good. I think like it's exactly what you said though. I feel like when we were coming up, there weren't. I don't know if there wasn't the opportunity, but a lot of the people that we looked up to didn't really reach back for us and didn't show us the ropes, or even just like, do you know what? Sometimes it's not even about no one giving you anything. All it is a case of someone just going, yeah, you're hard, man, keep doing your thing. And like just that encouragement didn't come from enough places, I think, coming up. And that's why now I go out of my way to make sure that if there's something I have or something I can give to those coming up, I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to say, yo, come through, come studio, let's do that. Well, you need a video, let's do that. And I feel like that's the way the game should be, man.
It's that whole mentality that needs to shift, man. You know, them ones where it's like, you know, a lot of our elders and stuff, just looking at the generations of the things that they've gone through, when a lot of the black people who came here and had to survive in this country, they were dealing with racism, they were dealing with, like, you know, post-traumatic stress disorder. They were not nurtured in a conducive environment to be able to grow and stuff. And there was some that did, and there's a lot that didn't. But had they not been carrying these kind of things, they'd have been thinking about, I need to buy a house because I need to pass it on. I need to set a business so I can hand it over. It's all about handing it over and passing the baton. And, you know, people like myself and yourself who are trying to put on platforms for other people to shine, that's what we're doing essentially, is like we are passing the baton, you know, in the relay race, which keeps everything going and connected.
Before I even get into that, before I get into your, because again, you got the platform, the clashing platform versus like our version, which was so cold as well. Before I get into that though, I want to go back here to you mentioning the Nawabians.
Oh yes.
How did you get involved in that? When did you come into that? And what was your experience in it? Because from my point of view, I remember there was one girl, what was her name, man? Actually, I'm not even going to bait her name up, but this is college times, I'm not going to bait her name up. But she was a don. Like, out of, you know what I mean? We're college kids, bruv. We're like 16, 17, And she used to come through and she had the books. And at the time, I was in church. I was a Christian at the time, So, obviously, you see that clash, Right. Yeah. And so, she was on like, I'm on my militant, like, yo, Bible shit, and she's on that militant Nawabian shit, and so we're like exchanging books and knowledge and stuff. And I remember it got to a point when I was just like, nah, that's a bit too mad still. And then she looked at me, she was like, yeah, it's cool, you're not ready. And I was like, oh shit. But like, she did it in a way, it wasn't even in a way where like it was condescending. It was just like, it was just like, nah, it's cool. Like, don't even sweat it, man. Don't even sweat it. And then from then, I kind of went more into it, and obviously, like we would share out the Malachi Z York CDs. So like, I remember going. That's literally how a lot of man from Northwest that's how I bucked them, you know, bro. Like that was like the link, and they would have the CDs. I'll be at the barber shop, and they'd be like, "Yo, I got this one," and we'd be just going back and forth. I remember meeting a guy in McDonald's when McDonald's was still in Harsden. And he was like, yeah, man, I got you. Like, so tell me about that, man.
Boy, bro. Yeah. All right. So basically, because I've gone fully deep into it, man. Like, it was, I was 13.
Yeah.
When I first went to one of the worst schools in London, and I met my now best friend. It was crazy. It was like, have you ever had one of those moments when you meet someone? It's like there's so much chaos that is all around, but then around them, it's like time slows down. Have you had that before?
Yeah. Energy's different.
So basically, this is how it took place now, and that was the spark of the my whole shift,
right?
Which is it's not even stopped. It's not.
Sorry, I'm losing you. We got some technical issues right now.
Yeah,
wait, give me a sec.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, I got you back. Cool.
All right, yeah, man, that's mad. We're switching up the frequency now.
They're trying to get us, man.
All right, I'm gonna go deep and I'm gonna give it to you, man. I'm gonna go deep. So basically, at the age of 13, I remember it was one of my first lessons. It was my introduction to the hood, gangs, having older brothers, older cousins, back up, all kinds of that kind of stuff. I'm in there, innocent brother, and everyone's trashing the freaking classroom. It's freaking mad. People are beating each other up. No one's listening to no teacher. And my boy is just right at the back. My boy Stefan is just chilling right in the back in amongst the chaos. And something kind of drew me to him. I said, yo, man, what's your name? What's your name? And he's gone, I want to tell you something. Do you know about Dr. Malachi? And it goes, no.
See, it just comes out of it straight.
I know. I want to tell you, about Dr. Malachi. Let me show you who the prophet is. I said, and I was interested in spaceships, otherworldly stuff. I just wanted to know, innit? I just wanted to, I was searching. He takes me upstairs. We've come out of the classroom, gone upstairs into the library, and he showed me about Dr. Malachi. He introduced me to his dad very shortly after that. Minister Rebel, who was one of the main people who lived on the land with Dr. Malachi. Dr. Malachi himself said, you know what, you carry on doing what you're doing because you're representing me out there. He was one of the main people that led everyone on Genesis Radio. He went everywhere. One of the main people in the UK to kind of put that out there. He was one of the main guys. Like Minister Rebel is not no joke. My best friend's dad. He's the one who gave me the my first set of books. Right. I remember meeting him. He's like, yeah, you're interested in the Waku, yeah? You want to hear the truth, yeah? All right, cool. So he'd give me books. I would eat these books like nobody's business. I'd give them back to him. He'd give me another book, and we just exchanged for years. 2012. No, it was 2011. Is that number again? 2011. Everyone, getting you. I used to go to the classes. The question and answer classes, and I was really fascinated by the fact that you had these people just standing up there, and you can ask them any question, and they were just so learned. They could break down anything from any religion, any topic, anything, and just learning about the fact that they had studied the Bible, the Quran, Buddhism, all of these different things, and able to kind of break it down and make sense of everything. It was almost like a magic trick that I wanted to understand. 2011, I met this brother named Sakem, who was.
Hey, you know what, bruv? We're gonna hold this a second. I'm gonna try and call you back, just because the connection's a bit wild. Yeah. Let me try and if you I'm gonna cut this off, yeah. But if you just call back on the same link that I gave you, it should go straight back on. So we'll try that, yeah. All right, cool. 1 second. Yeah, we're gonna try and get back with Phoenix, because I want you lot to hear what he's saying as well. And his connections a little bit mad. So give him a second to just reconnect, and we'll see if we can come back bigger and better. You know. Guys in the comments, let me know if it goes, you know what I mean? If it's whack, just give me a shout. Alright, we're gonna try this again. Cool. It's looking better. Let's try this. Let's try flip it.
Yeah, I'm back.
Let's get rid of me. Alright, cool. We trying it, see if it comes, if it's better. If it's not, it's not. But at least we tried, innit?
Yeah.
Alright, cool.
Man, it's mad. I'm not sure if you've had this problem before, man, but we're getting into some deep shit right now.
Yeah, it's one of them ones, man.
We're skimming surfaces, but we're gonna get in it.
So yeah, so we're at 2013 now. So you're going to the meetings. You're speaking to the elders, and those who are really involved in it. And at the time, there's quite a big scene as well. There's quite a big connection because the network was large at the time. Before the feds came through and did what they did. But so how was that being a part of that?
Well, I kind of was getting to know all of this, and he was just imprisoned. Like he just was imprisoned.
Right. Okay.
Like not so long after I got into it.
Right.
It was 2011 that an elder decided to invest in me and bring me closer to like Nuwapu. So I joined the Blue House, the ancient Egyptian order, the Nuwapian Masonic Lodge.
Right.
And I got to understand a lot what was happening on the inside, stuff that a lot of people who are on the outside wouldn't know. From Masonry, what Masonry really is, who founded it, to what was going on with Dr. Malachi, even being able to hear him on some of the calls and stuff,
right,
and to understand what was happening. So I was kind of brought in, and then for his birthday, a few years after that, so the brother Sakemi helped me put out the Quantum Leap, and that was after we connected and he brought me in. A few years after that, they flew me out to Brooklyn. Okay. I stayed in Dr. Malachi's house, and I performed in honor of his birthday at the Z Festival. With
bro, I didn't know none of this, man. I didn't know none of this. This is like fascinating to me.
Yeah, it's mad. This was and Africa Bombata was there, but this was before he got the thing with that. I was out there, and man, it was interesting just being in his house, soaking up the energy, being in the Nuwapian temple, meeting, just hearing about how it all started, and how he was kind of intercepted. Some people in his own freaking in the whole organization, do you know what I mean? In his own organization, they were approached by the feds, CIA, FBI, tried to shut them down, and there were people who, were coerced into making these false statements about him, and other people who were able to gain from him being locked up. So all of that, man, all of that. But in terms of what he did for me, regardless of what anyone wants to say, is I feel that he sparked a lot of people. and he was the beginning of the spark of my consciousness. And the reason why when I pick up the mic, I do it with the conviction that I do, because that was my first evolution.
Oh, lost you again.
Yeah.
I got you. You're back.
Yeah.
So yeah, you were saying he was the evolution, and that's why I lost you.
Yeah, man. Like, he was the spark, man. He sparked me off.
I think a lot of us around, not just him, but around that time, the idea that there's something other than what you've been told is like a real is a catalyst. It is a spark for then you to go on to find about other things. And I think like even now, every now and then, man, I'll go online and see, like, listen to some of the old Malachi Z York speeches, and there's so much knowledge in them. You're just like, nah, there's not, like, this ain't normal. This isn't like, it's not like you can say, oh yeah, nah, you could just memorize all that stuff. It's like, all right, cool, but even if you do, you got some crazy memory, like, you know what I mean? It's deep, man. It's deep. So we move on a little bit from that. That kind of paints the background. That paints, like, where you are as or who you are as a person and what you put into the music. So now, how does that translate into the music that you made, and how did you find that obviously being kind of different, because not everyone was coming with that knowledge? So what was that like?
Well, what kind of like actually gave me almost like the license to kind of to just proceed with putting wisdom and knowledge, I would say, yeah, would put in, like, knowledge in the music and education in the music, was when I met Cyrus and the Sharon.
Right, okay.
They were at Speaker's Corner. It
yeah.
was 2008, and I just saw them on stage, the Sharon, or Crowd Nectar now, and Cyrus Malachi on the stage. They were spitting and they were talking about 360 degrees of knowledge. I was like, what? Them man spit in the whirlpool on the freaking stage. Like, what? I've never heard that done like that.
Yeah.
So fresh on the knowledge of all of that, it was like, nah, man, I need to connect with these guys. And yeah, that's what kind of we kind of just, because we was on the same frequency, it just made sense that we just, connected in the way that we did.
Yeah.
That's a whole another thing in itself, like the whole Triple Darkness thing. Like,
yeah, that's a legendary. That's our Wu-Tang, innit? Like, if you're gonna talk about crews, you gotta mention Task Force, you gotta mention Terra Firma, and you gotta mention Triple Darkness. Like, when you're talking about crews, that's how, to me anyway, that's the science right there, man.
It's like how I met them. It's like it was 2008. It was 2008, and I met them in Speaker's Corner. I was just like beguiled for the fact that they were so good. Never heard anyone bring it like that, and the knowledge that they were dropping. Flash forward a little bit after that, it couldn't have been it was less than a year. I ended up seeing Crown Nectar on the Sharon, People's Day of all places, in South East freaking London, Lewisham People's. These them sides, I'm seeing them there, and it was that moment again where I'm just like walking. There's a crowd of people. Everything kind of like slows down, and he's there. I'm like, what are you doing here? You're the guy I saw on the stage. You were spitting about Dr. Malachi, the knowledge thing. yo, you're freaking sick. What's your name?
Yeah.
Sharon. And this was when they were Phalanx Heresy, before they were Triple Darkness.
See.
So I was like, nah, man, you man are sick. And I spat in the hardest bar I could spit. The hardest bar. And it was actually the bar that I had written when I was with Mike Assassin. That was my hardest bar.
Oh, sick.
It was my hardest bar. And it was enough for man to be like, you know what? This guy can spit still. You should go and meet you should go come to us, come studio one day. And it was the first time I met Chemo.
See.
They introduced me to Chemo. I was telling my brethren, Demas, man, who, he was like an older brother to me, man. I was telling, he's the one who actually introduced me to his auntie, who I went to the center with. It was like a youth group center thing, which took me on my first recording studio day. They introduced me to studio. My brethren, who's like my older brother. Yeah. So, I was telling him about them. I was like, yo, man, there's these brothers who are spitting like some bars, man, and they're dropping like, we was both into the Wapu. It was like, yo, man are going in with the bars, man, putting down the knowledge.
Yeah.
That man had almost finished the album. I think there was a couple of tracks. One of them was Politicking, which M9 later then joined in.
Right.
And they had the Anathema album basically done, and nobody wanted to put it out, bro.
See.
Nobody was going to put it out. They shot around all over the place. And I was like, listen, yeah, they gave us a copy. Me and my brethren Demas sat down, we heard it. We was like, what the fuck is this?
Levels.
This needs to come out. Shortly after that, me and him, we was just like very dedicated to like doing something, man. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I had a little something with my mom. Disciplining my brother. My mom didn't like the way I was disciplining my brother and keeping him on the straight. Took me out the house. I was living with my brethren Demas's mom. Put me in the house, and we was rolling thick as thieves.
So
man.
how old was you then?
I was like freaking 18.
See. So this ain't even that. This is all right, cool. This is the beginning of. This is like the beginning of you like.
Yeah, this was before I even put out Baptism Under Fire.
Right.
And I was always someone who was on a 9 to 5, whatever. But I had quit my job to raise money on the street. Like I tried the whole I saw
you, man. Yeah.
Doing my thing,
man.
My street thing, man. And did the whole shotting thing, whatever. We raised like 10 grand. We decided that we was gonna put out Triple Darkness.
Yeah.
We was like, fuck that. Like this needs to come out. It just felt like it was a spiritual calling that it had to come out. Even if I had to quit my job, which I did. Even if I had to quit my job and do whatever I needed to do to get this out, it needed to be out. It's just something that had to happen. And obviously it's done what it's done, and it's going to continue to do what it's doing, and there's more to come. But yeah, man, like after just being even exposed to them brothers now, you already know, man, that you have to step up your fucking game, man.
Yeah, for real.
Them man is sharp, like every man, like.
Yeah, I could. You know what? It's funny because like, as a rapper, there's certain people you look at and you're like, yeah, you know what, man, I can hang with these, I can hang with those people. But then at the same time, I listen to some of you lot stuff and I'm just like, oh boy, I might have to pick up the pen for that one, man. Like I can't just do it off the top and just come with anything. It's a different level, man. It's different level. We see this all the time. There's God level pen. God's write differently.
Bro, like I know what you mean, man, because I feel the same way. Every time I jump on the track with them, it's like All right, so who is it?
Yeah.
Who is it? What motherfucker you gonna put on the track now? You need to have to try to write the best shit I've ever wrote against. You're gonna be on the track with me in it, like Cyrus, M9, yeah, and then Tesla's Ghost. It's like fucking hell. If it's not sharp, no one is even going to even hear it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I need to come for a man's head. I need to literally come for a man's head. And it's like the whole style of Triple Darkness is just very like, it's just fucking, you know.
Yeah.
It's
the DNA, I feel like the DNA of it is like, it's definitely Wu-Tang. It's like that Wu-Tang, but like, not just like, there's different levels of Wu in it. But I feel like in its essence, yeah, it's from like the same, it's from the same place. So we're talking about the same DNA. And that's why when I used to go out to, it's so funny because I'm like when it comes to like rap and hip hop, I'm like a Jay-Z, Dipset, you know what I mean? Like the flashy shit, yeah? So obviously I grew up on Wu, like I love Wu-Tang, but that was always like the stuff I kind of gravitated more to, especially in my style as well, was always that side of things. So I remember going to, where the hell was I, man? I was in Harsden one time, and I'm on the bus, and I'm got my headphones on, listening to some music. I'm listening to Dipset or something, and there's a whole bunch of men at the back, and they're rapping, and I'm like, oh, what, these man got bars too, innit? So I kind of like go over, like, yeah, you know what I mean, nod my head or whatever, and then one of them was like, what are you listening to? And I was listening to, Cameron or whatever. It was Jewels, and he was like, Jewels, he is the wackest rapper in the world, bruv, all that. And he was like, nah, you need to be listening to, and he was listening to like, I don't even know where it was. He must have given me this mixtape, which was like, it was Wu-Tang, but it was like, you know, it was not even Sons of Man. It was a deeper one than that. And he was like, nah, check these man out. But to me, that kind of thought process or that thinking is deep, because it's almost like you're coming with like the Killer Priest rhymes, that kind of thing. And like, that's not everybody can do that. Like, not everyone can do that, and it's not for everybody. It's a different skill, man.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, brother, man. It's a freaking chamber.
Yeah.
A chamber of swords, man, in which like there's many different freaking like weapons within that whole thing. Like I kind of like how I would describe Cyrus. It's like he's like a sledgehammer. M9 is like nunchucks.
That's so.
And the Sharon is like blades, like, you know, like dancing blades, like, you know, like almost like drunken master style blades.
Yeah.
And freaking it's so graphic, like it's like very, I can see the art, man.
Yeah.
It's like very, like their artistry is very well defined, man. Like their style very well defined. And there's like a signature chord which kind of runs through Triple Darkness, where it's like, yeah, you can go that way, but you can there's a signature that runs all the way through, and it's like you either understand it or you don't. And that's why I get what you're saying when you kind of compare it to like Wu and things, because it's like they all have different styles, but there's like a chord that runs right down the middle. But
I think like it's funny you say that about the art, and how visual it is. So my sound's going mad right now. Can you hear it all popping and crackling? I don't know why it's doing that.
Is it your headphones, you think?
Nah, it's not even that. I'm not sure what it is. We're trying to fight through it. Let me try and switch this a bit. 1 2 1 2.
Yeah, that's
No, it's even worse. Instantly worse. But anyway, let's just touch on talking about the artist side of it. Let's touch on the comic books, man. Like, how did that come about? The graphic novel. What kind of? Because I remember you talking to me about it. We're talking almost 2 years ago now, when you were telling me the story, and I was sitting here in this room, and I was just like, I came off I was on the phone with you for about almost 2 hours, yeah, and you were telling me, like, breaking down the whole the storylines and the things, and I come off the phone, and I was just like, I need to see this movie, bruv. Like, I need to see this movie. Like, God, man, tell me about how did that come about?
Oh, it's funny. It's mad. Like, I tell you, like, as you said, man, it's all spiritual. Like, from 2009, when I put out Baptism Under Fire, I'd asked M9, like, when he put out 144, I was like, who did the artwork for you? He said, this brother named Dean Richards, man. He's sick. I said, I want to work with this guy. What's his contact? Put me in touch with him. And he was the person who illustrated my first project, my first CD. And he's now my business partner.
See, that cover was hard as well.
11 years ago, from 2009 to now, actually 11 years. Sovereign Comics today, man. On the 11th day of the 11th month, at number 11, 11 years ago today, just before, funny enough, just before I got on the call with you, I just come off an interview with Money Mob, and it was our first video interview today. It's back. So, yeah, it's mad deep, man. Like, the whole Sovereign Comics thing. I've always been into, like, the first thing I wanted to do was be a cartoonist from the age of 7. I said I wanted to be a cartoonist, and I used to draw, but it just got to the point where drawing everything didn't actually get out all of this energy that I had, man. All of this stuff I was going through, all these spiritual things that I was observing and couldn't really talk to anyone about. Like, I used to draw and draw and draw, and then it got to the point where it was too much coming out, and I needed to speak it out. And it was after Baptism Under Fire, about a year after that, or 2 years after that, like, this idea hit me. The whole mythology of my now universe, Sovereign Comics universe, just hit me. And it was a spiritual thing, bro. It was mad. It was like a big wave that went out. There was a few other people who caught that wave. Because there was other people that were hit with the you know, like a burst of inspiration of something. It was like something coming down. And I was given the whole mythology of my now universe. And I just gave him a call. Having never met him before, it was only just like, okay, I want my artwork to be like this. Yeah, change this. Yeah, add that. Yeah, right, perfect. That's it. I phoned him up, and I was just like, you know what? This thing I'll tell you about it. I might as well tell you. The thing hit me. I'm writing. I'm in between jobs. I just come out of another job. I just got with my queen. And, you know, I'm writing. I didn't even know how to write a script or anything. The whole story is coming to me. I can't stop writing. I get on the bus, you know, on the way to picking up my stepson. And I'm so broke. I'm sitting on the bus, and I'm writing. I feel like I'm just in this orb of energy. And I just feel like, whoa, I'm like in like some bubble of energy right now. That's mad. And I can't stop writing. My fingers won't stop moving. And I'm thirsty as hell. And I'm like, yo, man, I'm so thirsty, it's uncomfortable. Like, it's a bit bad. Like, I need to get a freaking drink right now, man. Bro, a stranger out of nowhere. I wasn't making any face gestures or anything. This stranger out of nowhere came to me and offered me some alcohol. Like, it was like juice and some rum. Out of nowhere.
That's bad.
Didn't say a word. I didn't even ask him. He just tried to hand it to me. And at first I was like, nah, man, that's cool. And then he's like, insisted, like, take it. Didn't say a word to me, you know. Didn't say one word to me. Just take it. I've gone, all right. I drank it, had the alcohol. It was a nice experience. It was like, cool. He then just got off the bus. He got off the fucking bus. He didn't even say a word to me. He just nodded and smiled at me and got off the bus. And I was like, whoo, something serious is happening right now. I got on the phone and I called Dean Richards, man. It's the first time I'd ever even spoken to him about something like this before. It was just transaction. Here's the concept for my artwork. All right, pay me all the money, and then pay me half. You'll get the thing. Pay me that. You see what I'm saying? So I called him and I said, "Yo, man, I know we haven't really spoken properly before, and you ain't even seen my face, but fam, this idea for a whole comic book come to me and it hit me. Let me share it with you." And when I shared it with him, he was just very impressed. He said, "What you have is like it's like without even realizing it, you've. It's like," he said, "it reminds him of The Man with a Thousand Faces, the book with the Man of a Thousand Faces, where it's like every iconic story." They have particular archetypal stories in it, like Cain and Abel, the Jesus figure, all of this. Like, you know, I built a whole mythology, and he was just like very impressed with what I came up with. And he said, "Yeah, I'll do something with you." I knew that when it had come to me, that this wasn't just for me. I knew that if it come to me, I have to first be willing to share it with the world, to share it with everyone.
Right.
And as soon as I shared it with him, I said, "Well, let's do this 50-50. That's when we expanded, and it kind of grew from there. I started at first, I didn't know how to write any comic book or anything. So I petitioned a couple people one guy, I started a new job. I told him I was into comic books, tried to get him to write. He done 1-2 pages, fucked off. Another person did, a couple pages in a month. And I was like, you know what, I need to manifest this. And I learned how to write, and I ended up writing over 40 scripts, creating over 100 characters. And, at first it was on a... Yeah, bro, like I'm writing all the time. Like I'm just finishing off a trilogy right now, man. Like I can't wait to... But, bro, you're going to see so much, man. There's so much that is coming that you're going to see. Like so much. Like it's not even a gas thing. Like we're all going to have fun. But yeah, basically it went from doing commercial books and everything to being like, okay, so it feels like we're feeling around in the dark. We're in competition with all of these people who are trying to do the same thing. What makes us different? What is it? Do we need to refine the intention? Do we need to strengthen the intention of why we are doing what we're doing? And then we sat down with our accountant, we found an accountant, marketer, sat down with the team, and we said, yo, we need to reach back to the children, man, to the schools. We need to come for the next generation. We need to get in the schools, use how we going to what we've got, help children in schools. We started working on dealing with the whole PSHE section of the curriculum.
Wicked.
So the obesity, we've got a book on that. Knife crime, street violence. We are going to be branching into domestic violence, suicide, writing a book on racism at the moment, doing a project with a group called Liberty Lines, who are a group of 12 barristers from Harvard and Cambridge, and Paul McKenzie. We've all come together and we're doing a book and a workshop on county lines. We're working on a maths book with a guy called Mr. Numbervator, who teaches head teachers, school teachers, nationwide. He's on the BBC. He writes for BBC Bite Size. He's a TV presenter on BBC. And we're coming for the children, man, with the edutainment.
It's cold,
Coming
man.
for them.
I've seen what you've been doing.
I can't hear you.
Sorry, my bad. I've seen like behind the scenes what you've been doing, and like you said, it's not gas. There's a lot of stuff that I don't think people are really ready for, and it's going to be exciting to see, man. We're gonna do this interview again when we got some better sound. I don't know what's going on today, but I just really wanted the people just to kind of get an idea of what's actually going on and what to expect. Have you got, so you know the comic books coming, how about what's new with the music? What more music have you got coming as well?
Woo! You know what? I'm gonna freaking spoil it, man. I'm working on something with Rams and Bad Bones.
Yeah, I didn't want to say. I didn't want to spoil it, but I've heard things.
Rams and Bad Bones. This album is sounding fucking cold.
Monster.
And it's off the back of my freaking spiritual healing and transformation, man. Since I've done a lot of healing work on myself, my music has changed. So yeah. my latest, most recent work, which has come out, which defines where I'm at right now, is Panacea, which means cure for all ills. And, you know, the person who gave me the I didn't even know what a panacea was until I met this Sufi who takes freaking psilocybin mushrooms in the freaking forest by himself in the dark, camps out for days, handed me these beads, handed me some shilajit, which is a panacea, and was like, this is a panacea. Here's these beads, you know what I mean? Like take that. It's protection. It's this, it's that. He's encoding me with certain things. And I'm like, yo, man, I want my music to be healing, man.
Yeah.
My music needs to be healing. Like, it's, you know, before I was like going over my old traumas with a finer, with a sharper pen. And it was only till I healed those things I was able to talk about different things, you know. So now, off the back of that, this project I'm doing with Ramson is crazy.
Boy.
It's fucking mad.
Yeah, you ain't got to tell me, man. You ain't got to tell me. I know that's going to be crazy, man. But yo, bruv, I just want to big up for your time anyway, man. Like, I'm glad we had this chat. We're gonna talk off cam anyway. Hold the line. I'm gonna say goodbye to the people. Alright, 1 second. Guys, yeah, man. Sorry about the sound. We had some sound issues, but we're gonna be back tomorrow anyway. We'll hopefully get it all fixed up and all them ones there, you know how we do. But big up everyone who stayed locked in. Like I said, man, keep sharing it, keep letting people know we're out here. We're doing something big. This is reaching a lot of different places that I didn't think it would reach. It's kind of mad, actually. I'm not even gonna lie. We got some very, very big interviews coming up. So yeah, man, guys, stay blessed. I hope you have a good evening, and I will see you tomorrow night.